as I've said, pdfToolbox 11 is around automation, most of the new features, but we have also implemented something new in pdfToolbox Desktop. But in the end, you could say, okay, pdfToolbox Desktop is just a tool that allows you to do automation. So indirectly, that again is automation. But anyway, now I want to, because the new UI stuff, I can better show you in pdfToolbox 11 itself. And I've just opened the same slide here as a PDF file in pdfToolbox. And then we will quickly walk over what is presented here. So as you see, you have gotten a new sidebar. We don't have to talk a lot about that because that is the first thing that you can see. And the best thing is you can even remove it again. So anyway, so this is there and you can use it. Another thing which is more hidden, as you can also see here, it's a hidden feature somehow. I have prepared a library that is here. It has a profile, but it doesn't have any checks or any fix-ups. So it appears to be an empty profile in the first place. It doesn't seem to have anything. But however, if we look into it, we see it actually has a couple of checks. And I can, if I open this check, I can drill down and go further. And I see it, in fact, it has several levels of checks. So it's a rather complex profile. However, it doesn't convolute my interface here. And that is based on a new feature. So it's now possible, because pdfToolbox 11 is becoming more and more complex, and many of the checks that you're using are not intended, or fix-ups, they are not intended to be used directly. So many of the things only work even in a context of a process plan or of a profile. So it's now possible, if I go here and open one of the checks again, there is a new checkbox here that says hide list. I was told I should zoom in. There is a new checkbox here. I can. Yeah. Okay, you never should. Okay. There is a new checkbox here, hide in list of checks. And that actually surprisingly does what it says. That allows me to hide all this hidden, the checks in this profile. If and that is the other thing that has changed related here, before here was written view all, now it's default, and that is because it makes sense, because now it doesn't show the hidden checks, but if I switch to show hidden, I can actually see them all. So it's still possible to see them, but if I don't touch the UI, they are hidden. That's that. And also I can also say view all. It doesn't, that doesn't make, or show all, it doesn't make a difference here. One of my favorite things is that, and I can only tell you, when I hit Command I, it opens the object inspector. And that, at least for me, is a big time saver. So I'm using the object inspector a lot. And I mean, zooming in doesn't help for a keyboard shortcut, but Command I opens the thing. And the other thing that is new, this is a detail, in the object inspector, I have this is a spot color here, separation, dark color for gray. What we have added is, I was missing this for a long time, the alternate color values for spot color. So that's just that you know. That's that. Yes, license server integration. So it is possible to run pdfToolbox Desktop against the license server. So if you have a license server in your network, you don't have to activate pdfToolbox Desktop on the computer. So you can in your network, just run pdfToolbox somewhere on any of the computers, and as long as you have enough run counts for pdfToolbox desktop, you can use it, and you can connect to a license server via this activate callas pdfToolbox item, and then instead of activating it via a license file, you can use a license server, and then when you hit next, you could enter the URL of the license server. Yes, that is also nice. Log profile execution is not new. When I want to debug a profile, next item here, when I want to debug a profile, I can switch on log profile execution, which would at the end of processing open a folder with intermediate results and some more information. This is very, very helpful for debugging, finding problems about a profile. However, it also slows down processing, and the problem was sometimes you forget to switch it on. And to switch it off. Why can't I? Okay, let me open another PDF file maybe. No, I'm sitting here. So there is the analyze button, so there is no fix up, so I can hit the analyze button. And what is new here, it was annoying me all the time, it was only okay, now I can cancel the whole thing in order to switch log profile execution off again. Tiny little detail. And last but not least, I can from here create a new library directly, so I receive a file, a profile from my customer. I want to work with it, but I don't want to import everything into the library that I'm usually working with. Then I can, from here, directly create a new library, an empty library, but also one that is having all the other, one of the profiles from the other libraries, but I can easily create a new empty library to work, and then that library only has this profile that I have received from my customer. And these are the UI improvements, and this is the next topic. Yes.
So you know what test mode is, I think. I hope you use it a lot. In pdfToolbox 10, there were already some things that have been added, not in 10.0, but somewhere after that. One of the things that was missing the most actually is the fact that you couldn't see the page boxes, but you should have seen that in some of the minor releases. The indication of the trim box and the art box and so on has been added into test mode. But in pdfToolbox 11, it goes a little bit further. And if I just go to pdfToolbox and we're doing 20, right? Yeah, so I have a little check here, I think. If I would go to edit, this is something for a probably not the one. It's always exciting to do this in beta versions because look, all kinds of stuff happens. Oh, you've switched on log profile execution. Yeah, thanks. So the idea is that if you execute anything that uses a shape, and this could be a check that uses a shape definition, or it could be a fix-up that is create and apply shapes or something similar, not only can you see the file itself, and if it's a fix-up, you can also see the resulting file, but you can see the actual shape that pdfToolbox thinks you meant. Because very often, especially with create and apply shapes, or let's say that you use this fix-up to set the trim box based on the bounding box of a shape, for example, then the question is the fix not working? Is the shape definition that I'm using not the correct one? And this shows you in this orange what the shape is that pdfToolbox has created internally and that it is using to do the next step. Yeah? So it can help you to figure out whether you're doing the correct thing there. The other thing, and then I think I have to go here for that. So there is this, where do you have the files, Dietrich? Thank you.
Where do you have the files?
So I have a file here. I just don't remember which one I need for this, but we'll take... Oh. I'm also not used to your trackpad. So I have this cute little penguin. And then this is a fix-up you haven't seen yet. Dietrich is going to explain all the details of that. If I run tests, you can see that there is a whole bunch of stuff that now appears. Thank you. You have the original file. I have the resulting file that was created. Because this is something that uses a shape, I also get the definition of the shape. So this tells me, again, what is the shape that the bleed was eventually created from in this particular case, which could help me understand why something happens here, for example, because the shape actually in this case excludes white. And when you are doing something with bleed creation, you can also see what the bleed is or the shape of the bleed that was added. And the reason this is important is in many cases, well, in all cases, the bleed that you create has the same color of the rest of the thing. It extends the last pixel. So it can be difficult to understand what the original file was and where the bleed started. And this helps you see what that shape is going to look like. And I think that is actually it.